Just outside with a fresh snowfall here in Utah, looking at the Fenix PD35 Tactical. We're in the tactical mode, showing you the 1000 lumens. Not showing a lot of distance here, just want to give you an idea of what the light of this looks like at that full 1000 lumens. Here on the tactical mode, every time you depress in that momentary, you're going to get that 1000 lumens. If I move quickly through that, I'll get my strobe, and then it will go down to your lower setting, which I believe is the medium. Just a fantastic light. Now we're taking a look at the Olight M2T Warrior. I switched out the included two CR123 batteries for an 18650 so that you can get an idea of this full 1200 lumens of light. With the CR123A batteries, you only get 900 lumens. Just showing you that full 1200 lumens of power. And if we do a full depress on this tail switch, get into that strobe mode, this thing is really fantastic. What's going on, guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Today we're going to talk about two tactical flashlights. One that is brand new to the market, which happens to be this one, the Olight M2T Warrior, versus, or just a comparison, to the Fenix PD35 Tactical, which has been out on the market for quite a while. But these share a lot of similar characteristics, a lot of similar aspects to it that allow them to be a really good comparison. Now, I'm not going to be doing a full-on review of this light, the M2T Warrior, because plenty of other channels are going to be doing videos on this light and talking about the individual specs and going through the modes and all of those little things, which we'll do a little bit here today. But I really want to focus on the differences between these two lights and why you might consider the M2T Warrior over the PD35 Tactical and vice versa. Now, ever since I got the Fenix PD35, I just fell in love with what this light is, what it's capable of, the functions, the versatility, everything about it is really cool. And I've been so happy with just the overall quality and performance of this light and how good it has been in everything that I've used it for. Now, new to the market and something that I've not had a lot of opportunity to use because I've had this for a short period of time is the M2T Warrior. Let's go ahead and dive into the differences between these two lights, because honestly, in their function and everything, they are really similar. But out of the box, what does it come with? Now, the Olight is going to come with two CR123A batteries that don't give the flashlight its optimal performance. You only get 900 lumens of output with those two batteries, and you have to put at least a 3500 milliamp 18650 battery in this light to be able to get the maximum output of 1200 lumens. Whereas the Fenix, you have the option to get the 3500 rechargeable 18650 battery that is pretty standard for this option, and that gives you your max output of 1000 lumens. Each of them are going to come with a nylon carry case to be able to attach to your belt, as well as lanyard options and additional O-rings and all of that. So pretty standard in that comparison. Both of them have a tail switch on them, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a second, but you've also got a side switch, which depending on what mode you're in on the Fenix, this side switch becomes inoperable, where with the Olight, it's always functional. So we'll dive into the specific function of the Fenix first. And this light, like I said, has a max output of 1000 lumens. It is a fantastic light. The candela power on this is really impressive. So it's just a wonderful light that I would say is probably one of the best work lights out there on the market. So if you're in the type of service industry where you're doing HVAC, or you're working in basements, or you just are in a place where you need a really high quality light to light up your workspace, then this is a really good option. Now, the PD35 Tactical has two types of modes on it. You've got a tactical mode and you've got an outdoor mode. It happens to be in the tactical mode right now, which means that the side switch in tactical mode is totally obsolete. So you don't even have the ability to use it, and you've got a limited amount of options for output and, I should say, function with the tactical mode. So you've got 3 modes is all. When you depress your momentary tail switch on the back, so that half press, you're going to get your full 1000 lumens of output every time you turn that on. It doesn't have a memory to like go into your strobe or a lower setting, but if I quickly move through those, then I'm going to get my 3 modes. So there's a strobe, there is, I believe it's the medium setting, but either way, when you depress that momentary switch halfway, even when I push it in all the way for that audible click, then I'm going to get that 1000 lumens. Now compare that to the Olight M2T Warrior. This, on the side switch, is going to be operable every single time I want to use it. So it doesn't have different mode options like the PD35 Tactical does. So if I like press this side switch after I turn on the light, press this and hold it down, I'm going to get those couple light flashes there, and now I am in my outdoor mode and I am able to cycle between different mode options. So we'll turn that off and go back to the M2T Warrior, just stating the fact that you've only got one like mode option. You don't have like a tactical mode and an outdoor mode with the Olight. You've always got a side switch that is operable to be able to cycle through the different light outputs. So on the tail switch of the M2T Warrior, which I really like this tail switch. This is a really cool feature that Olight put on this particular light. You've got a 3-stage tail switch. So you've got your momentary on, if I just do that half press and not a full depress of the light, or excuse me, of the tail switch. So there's your momentary. One thing that I absolutely do not like about this is you don't have a really good tactile feel on the tail switch of this M2T Warrior. So if I push this in, I get a little bit of a click, but it's a little it's pretty interesting. It's just one of those things that you kind of have to use it to understand how that functions, but it's not my favorite feel from a tail switch compared to that classic clicky type of feel that you get from the tail switch. So what I mean by 3-stage is you've got your half press to momentary, push a little bit harder for 2nd stage to turn it on and keep it on, and then push in a lot harder than all of the other, and that's going to give you your strobe, which is a really cool feature in my opinion, because if I want in a self-defense type of scenario to get a strobe on a threat really fast, then I've got the ability to push that in. And it doesn't require, which this is something that I'm really a fan of, it doesn't require a lot of like fine motor skill things, which people always talk about when you're in a lot of stress and you're scared and you've got a lot of anxiety, things going on like that, then it makes it difficult for you to use those fine motor skills. We talk about that with firearms all the time. And in this case, if I need to use a strobe to cause any kind of deterrence to a threat, I've got the ability to do that really easy. Where with the PD35, I have to kind of cycle through the various modes to be able to get into that strobe if I want to have access to that. Otherwise, I'm relying on that 1000 lumens when I do that momentary switch to be able to use that as my threat deterrent. Talk about size comparison between the two. They are honestly really similar in size if you kind of line those up. The PD35 is a little bit longer. Looking at the bezel of each of them, here on the PD35 you've got kind of that standard tactical type bezel, which in this case you probably would be able to use kind of effectively to break glass if you absolutely needed to, where with the Olight it's a little bit lower profile and not really like any sharp edges or anything, but maybe a little less tactical than some people would prefer on a light. let's talk about the pocket clips on here. The PD35 has a pretty like standard, decent pocket clip. I'm not somebody that honestly carries these size of lights in my pocket every day. They're a little big for that type of application, so I honestly prefer to carry them in their nylon pouch, to be quite honest. But you're looking at this pocket clip here on the Olight that allows for various carry orientations. I've got the option to be able to clip this to my hat if I am somebody that likes to use a light as a headlamp. In this case, this would be kind of a big light to use in that application, but you've got a pocket clip that has two different orientations. Both of these lights are going to have very similar water resistant ratings. In the case of the Olight, you've got an IPX8 rating, which is enough to be able to warrant this to be used in any kind of application. Really, the differences between these lights are pretty negligible. So for a lot of people, it might come down to brand preference. For the specific application of a tactical flashlight, I think that the M2T Warrior is a better option than the Fenix. But there are some downsides to this in that it doesn't come with a rechargeable battery, and this side switch here is kind of like a rubberized type of material, and so over time that might become an issue with it wearing down and it not being as reliable. Again, it comes down to how much do you really use your flashlight compared to the Fenix, where you've got a metal stainless button here on the side that is definitely going to last a lot longer. But honestly, guys, like the differences between these two and the pros and cons are so negligible. These lights are really, really similar, and to be quite honest, I would purchase both of them. But if I had my choice, the PD35 in my particular circumstance, where I do a lot of outdoor activities, as well as wanting to have that tactical type of application, this happens to be the winner for me, just because of what Fenix is and what this comes with versus the needing to purchase a different battery to go with this to be able to get that full 1200 lumens. I mean, yes, this does have 200 lumens more of output than the Fenix does, but the 1000 lumens on this is more than enough light to be able to accomplish what you need it to. So anyway, guys, I know that's not a really, really like awesome, comprehensive comparison between these two lights, but they are really popular options out there on the market. So I wanted to do a comparison between the two so that you could kind of get an idea of something brand new to the market that I know is going to be really popular versus something that is pretty proven, and for me has been a really, really fantastic light. So anyway, guys, that is a comparison of the PD35 Tactical versus the M2T Warrior from Olight. Really, really cool lights out there on the market. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so already. And as always, guys, have an awesome day.